starting with Bitcoin. Basically now got a bit of a thrust up here, so it could be that we're actually onto something quite important here. I mean, I've just sold some Bitcoin, so it's bound to trigger this kind of action, I think, so you should all thank me for that, I think. Let's look at the chart in more detail. We've now got the low came in here at around 15,454, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's pretty clear. I think, yeah, he's actually down here, isn't it? A, B, maybe. So it's not a traditional ABC, but it does meet the parameters of an ABC. And then we've got let's expand this a little bit. 1, 2, 1. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and this looks like a third of a third coming in quite nicely. So that does look quite encouraging. It's actually even taking out the high here, which is quite good going. Okay, so the Bitcoin's looking good now. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Same pattern on Ethereum. 5 goes up here, quite sharp wave 2 down, and then a 1, 2, 5 to there, I think, maybe there. Wave 2, 1, 2, third of a third. Yeah, I mean, it's looking pretty good as a possible rally, which is going to continue. I mean, it's probably about time it continues, and I mean, we have got quite a lot of talk about currency devaluation. I think what Bitcoin was created for was to avoid the problems with fiat currencies and overspending by reckless governments, irresponsible reckless governments, and I think we're at that stage of doing just that, well, as usual, basically. Let's have a look at gold. Well, gold still looks pretty good, but it's continuing to go up. 1, 2, could be the third wave there, I suppose. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's complete, perhaps. With a 4 wave maybe due down here somewhere. And a 5. But still looking pretty solid, and I think it will continue. I think it's certainly a case that people ought to be holding some gold going forwards, not just the investment aspect, but in case things do get pretty tough in the coming years, having some gold in the house could be a matter of life and death, I guess, if you can't actually things get really tough. And I'm hoping that it won't reach that stage, but it doesn't hurt to have some because it's a useful thing to have. Anyway, I'll say more about this at the end of this report because it won't interest everybody, but it may interest some of you. Let's go on to silver. Silver is similar, but we haven't really got the third wave thrust here. In fact, I'll try to count this really. We've also got the ABC possibility, which I think we can probably ignore that really. I think it's probably a red herring really. Unless something happens to silver, I can't see why it should. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, I guess it could just be the 5 continuing, but not a very easy thing to count. Perhaps it's going to be a bigger correction coming in at the moment, possibly. My FTSE keeps going up, so there's no hesitation here at the moment. Still counts the 5th wave though, so I'm still expecting some kind of peak in fairly near future, but at the moment I'm still in an uptrend. Here goes the DAX, looks like a 5th wave in progress. 1, 2, 3, so the 4 and the 5 are probably still in the future. So again, it looks like a peak is imminent, but not in yet. Meanwhile, we've got 5 down on the Dow, so I think the peak is in, and we're going down now. Although we took out the recent high, so that's sort of extending. So we have got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not surprising. I'm not saying the peak is in at this point. We haven't seen any evidence of that at all. I mean, we're sort of testing at 61.8% level here, which is around 33,980 thereabouts. So I would expect this to reverse any time soon. Really, it's just a question of when it actually does so. But it's hanging on there at the moment. I guess the peaks on the FTSE and the DAX and this secondary peak here might come along at a similar kind of time frame. That would make some kind of sense. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. But certainly, this is a more negative pattern. We've got 5 waves down, obviously, but it's still hanging in there for the time being. The Nasdaq's already fallen quite a long way. We've now got a new decline starting. 5 wave down to here. A, B, C. Let's see again is extending. Yeah, again, any time soon, I think we should see the peak on this Right, this business thing I want to talk about. I came across recently a business called Living the Legacy, LTL. This is an American operation based around Think and Grow Rich by I'll get his name down. By Napoleon Hill, which I recommended for many years to clients. It's an excellent book. It also has a lot of backing from Bob Proctor, who has taken up the Napoleon Hill sort of flag, as it were. Lots of videos available, all sorts of stuff. It's got a very nice package in the way it's presented and feels. But what you do is you sort of spread the word. And for this you have to pay a fee because there's a machine involved. So, for example, there's computer software, there's a whole lot of stuff that back office is being done. And at the moment it costs $10,000 to join this. So it's not a simple. It's not. What I'm trying to say. It's a fair bit of money. However, you can make a few thousand a week out of it, and you can pay the $10,000 monthly. So it can work out really well. I joined, but haven't been approved yet. So I'm not part of this process at the moment. Although I'm planning to join once they've got their act together, as it were. Anyway, that's a separate issue, but if you're interested in spending maybe 2 or 3 hours a day on Zoom calls, people explaining how this works, and earning some thousands of dollars perhaps for doing so, then I would be happy to have a chat with you about it. But obviously you don't, and don't. But it occurs to me one could do a similar thing with gold, in fact, because I think people need to have gold at the moment, and we need to have some sort of structure for helping people make that decision to get into gold. And it could be I wouldn't charge $10,000. I mean, it had to be something. People say there's a machine, there is work to do, you can't do it for nothing. But it wouldn't, and also you've got to feed the machine somehow. So unless you sell something for $1,000 or so, then there's nothing to actually share, and nobody can get any rewards for doing what they're doing, as it were. So I was thinking about that on gold, in fact, along the lines of that on gold, but haven't reached any firm conclusions yet. But I thought I'd just open it to you in case it's of any interest. And if any of you have come across Live the Legacy and LTL, I'd be interested in hearing of what you thought of it. I mean, it has spread quite widely, I think. Maybe less so in the UK, I suppose. Anyway, that's really all I want to say on that score. So thank you for listening to today's report. I hope you found that interesting and useful. Back on Thursday, on Saturday. I'm a bit confused on the days at the moment. It's very unseasonal weather over here. It's a beautiful sunny day today. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.